Hello and welcome to Jeremy's Yorkshire Allotment Adventures on what is, well, a very damp morning here on the allotment. The birds are singing. I think the sun might try and break out, but at the moment, well, it's not looking too good. However, welcome to the show. I hope you're sitting back comfortably, feet up, relax, nice and warm, cuppa in hand, and well, you're about to watch today's show. Now, these are a bargain. I have one here and one there. All will be explained in a minute once the credits have rolled. Shall we? Here we go then. Welcome to Jeremy's Yorkshire Allotment Adventures. Well, I might as well stay outside for a while and then we're going to pop inside the greenhouse to talk all things seeds again. Back to basics, always a good start. So now's a really good time if you've got anywhere you want to grow and you're going to start putting things in early March, or even you can put some things in now actually, but you need to protect from frosts. And also it's really good advice to warm the soil up. Now here I've got a little cloche. It's one that folds up, so it's called an easy get to one, and I've just bought this morning actually. And it was £10 in the sale actually. Should have been 25. Not sure I would have paid £25 for it. But look, it's about, when it's fully spread out, just under a metre square. Now what am I going to put in here? Well, I'm going to put carrots in here. I'm going to make a dedicated carrot bed. So what I'm going to be doing in the next day or two is to dig down quite deeply, take a lot of the soil out actually, and put lots of organic matter right in the bottom, and also mix it with sand, of course. And I'm going to put some of that new koi compost that I've got, because you need to be light and airy. You need to allow your carrots, especially if you've got your deep-rooted ones. Obviously, the globe ones, it doesn't matter too much about the depth of the soil, but they do like good nutrients. So in here, I'm going to have my carrots. So this hole here will get quite a lot of carrots in here. So I look forward to that. Obviously, this is aerated netting, which means the rain can get through, so don't have to worry about watering. If it's obviously raining like it is shortly here, it's starting to come. Brilliant idea. I'd say £10, not bad in the sale. It needs obviously pegging down. It comes with two actually side pegs, and they're shaped a little like Christmas trees. In fact, here's a photograph. Look at that. And well, I had to get my thinking cap on this morning because it came without any instructions. Two sets of screws, and I suddenly realised that actually this can be put on to a wooden frame, so a raised pallet. And the other screws that come with it are screws to go into wood, and they go in the side of the frame. But I think that's all right actually. It's interesting. I know I make my own, but I thought I'd buy that with it being only a tenner. Not too bad. I've also put my other 3-metre tunnel down, and see the white one next to me, just to start again warming the soil. Now I emptied a bag of compost that I've had lying around here, making my own this morning, and surprised to see lots and lots of juicy worms. It's amazing they'll find it. And well, here's a photograph of them as well. So I'll turn away if you don't like worms, a bit late, but yeah, really, really good. They're in there now, taking all that lovely compost down into the soil. I do a lot of digging over. I'm part of the old school. I like to double dig sometimes. I double dug last year. Probably won't be necessary this year, but it will need. It's very, very cloggy this year, I've noticed already. So lots and lots of compost, lots of manures are going down at the moment, lots of straw and hay to give it a bit of texture, a bit of good body rather than being clumpy. It's difficult, isn't it? We're only into February, we've had lots of rain, we've had snow, but it does make the soil heavy. A lot of people I know like raised beds. A lot of people do no-dig gardening. They lay pieces of cardboard down, then they put soil and compost on top of that and grow through it. Well, I've never done that here, but well, maybe it's something for the future. But yes, we're starting. This will help warm the soil. I may even put a little bit just of cardboard inside whilst we get going. Then that'll come out once I start sowing my carrots. And they can be sown from now on in, actually, but beware, be very wary of frosts. You can start them off in trays, but they don't like to be moved very much, carrots. It doesn't do them any good, actually, because of the carrot fly. If you knock them, it attracts them. So if you do it, be very careful with your seedlings and your you get them in as quick as you can and get them covered. Marvellous. Well, here we are inside the greenhouse, and I've got my seed tray out that we sowed the other day. So we're only, what, 4 days, I think, since I last did a video, and we've already got broccoli seeds starting to push through. So here's a little photograph of those, and they're doing really well. Don't forget, these are actually on a heat mat, so they've got some heat from below, and they've retained their moisture really well. I mean, if I can find some, it's different. Actually, what we do, here's a photograph from the other day of the compost before it got wet. So look, it's nice and light and airy. Well, this is still here, look, and it's nice and moist still. It's retained its moisture really well. I know we haven't had lots of heat, but in here, you know, because I've got heating on, it could dry out, but it's not dried out. This has just been re-watered. Now, cauliflowers are also coming through, and here's a photograph. I say also, there's one at the moment, but it's there. It's coming through nicely. Sprouts aren't yet, or are they? Oh, yes. There's a couple of sprouts coming through. Isn't that exciting? So we'll keep fingers crossed. Now, the reason I'm here is, remember we talked about loofahs, and they have to be soaked in water overnight. Now, it aids germination, but also it actually tells you whether or not the seeds are good or bad. And this is a brilliant thing. If they're good, they sink because they're heavy, obviously got stuff inside. If they're light, they float. Now, what's interesting is, and here's a photograph, I think half of the seeds, according to this test, called a germination test, won't germinate because they're floating, which is a bit rubbish really. So I will get onto the manufacturers, people I bought them off, and say, look, and I'll send them photographic proof that half of the seeds are rubbish. What they may tell me is to do, stick them in and see if they grow anyway. Well, I'm not going to do that. What a waste of soil. So the ones at the bottom here will be put in. Now, let me just take one of these that aren't any good. These light ones. Again, a little bit like we did the other day with the melon seeds, you put them on their side. So you stick them in the soil on their side and then add a little bit of a topsoil to that. Now make sure with these, I'm going to put that one there, that this is nice and fluffy. So it doesn't want to be too tight, and actually this mixture's really good. So give it a little fluff up first so it's not compacted. And then that will really, really help the seeds to germinate and to grow. So as I said, make sure it's not compacted, because often what happens is when you water, and you probably don't realise this when you're doing it at the time, but it does compact the soil or the compost you're using. Well, this coconut actually, matting, is really, really good. So that's nice and fluffed up now. Once your seeds are in, then of course you can tap it down just a little bit. And well, we'll do that with those. So take the bad ones out of the top here, and we'll just get rid of those because we don't want those ones. And I may do a little experiment. It depends what the business says. Now, this here, I've got water in here. Well, I could use it to water these, but they've already pre-watered. But what I will do, I'll put it in my homemade watering can. As I said, I love doing anything for nothing. As you know, if you've been watching my videos, this is just a plastic milk container, and it's very, very simple. All you need to do is put some holes in the top, and look, I'm not talking down to your hope, but here's a photograph with what I use. I used a screw, and you just very lightly put it in. So these have got a different size holes. Now, what's interesting, when I did this morning, I wasn't thinking, and I screwed the lid on, and actually the holes should be at the top when you pour. So what I did, basically turned it round, and it works really well. In fact, here's a photograph of things. And the beauty of using this is you can squeeze it and get pressure if you want a little bit more force with your water coming out, or you can just let it drip out. So it actually becomes a pressurized watering can. Brilliant invention. I said, all for free. Top it up with water. You can put, obviously, you can put feed and all sorts in here. Just you've got these lying around, so we'd have to buy an expensive. I mean, I've got one, obviously. It was bought for Father's Day last year. Beautiful watering can. It holds a lot of water, but mainly for the bigger plants. And well, it's great to have that. But this is brilliant for doing the seedlings. Right. Oh yeah, I've took it off because I'm going to pour my extra water in, wasn't I? So here we go. Pour the extra water in. Just be very careful. Keep an eye out, obviously, for the seeds. Stick your finger across the end, and they won't. There we go. There you go. Marvellous. I have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seeds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pots. Isn't that marvellous? Put the lid back on. Stick that over there. And we put them, as I say, on their side. Just pop them in. Now, I can't take a photograph because you won't see them because they're black. and even in this soil here, it's difficult to see. They pop in there just like that. That's how simple it is to sow seeds. Get some of this compost. Now this has again been watered a little bit this morning extra because I was trying my new watering can out, and so it's really lovely and moist. And what was nice is this here tray was having its own microclimate. It's got a bit of condensation in from the moisture from here going back into the pots. So it's brilliant stuff. Absolutely amazing how it works. In fact, we'd like another picture. It's all pictures today. That's this germinating. You can see the effect that it has on the heat mat, and even on a windowsill we get all that. So brilliant. Right, marvellous. Before we go, I'd just like to say thank you and welcome to all the new subscribers. You may be wondering what this is in the background if you haven't seen some of this is my new all-purpose compost that, as I said the other day, I bought for I think it was £5 or £6. In fact, it's the same stuff as this, but this is a seedling one and this is for general purpose. I've got to go and get my wheelbarrow out because I'm going to put this into the ground outside within, as I said, my carrot area. So I can't wait for that. 75 litres yet again in a little box like this. Fantastic. Now, before we go, I'd just like to go to a viewer's comment. In fact, it's a question, and Hugh has asked, do the cardboard tubes rot? So, do you remember I made these out of the lovely toilet rolls? We made a square out of a round, which is fantastic. Well, actually, no, they don't, believe it or not. They do survive, but what you have to be very careful of is overwatering, like with anything. Even if we had those organic pots, which is one over here, one of the old ones, they do tend to go in the end. But that one I left to dry out because I'd got lots of cherry tomatoes last year. But yes, they don't. They survive and they don't break apart until you put them into the soil, until you transplant them. The art of it, of course, is not to overwater these. If you give them too much water, then of course they'll start to disintegrate and will rot. But they're not being moved around very much, actually. Once they're in your tray, you know, once they're where they are and sown, then they'll be fine. You could use your own made watering can, like I've just done, or get a little spray gun and spray the water in. But this stuff, honestly, this cocoa compost is absolutely amazing. And I know that this will not possibly transport the moisture from here to these tubes. I'll be planting these up soon with some sweet corns. I love starting my sweet corns in these because, you know, it's an individual one sweet corn, one tube. Great stuff, isn't it? Well, thanks for the comments every week. I love reading them. I love seeing them. We'll do more on the next show, and it's great to have all the new subscribers on board. Thank you very, very much. Great to have you here. Send me questions, send me photographs, and well, we'll try and help as we go along this next growing season. Once again, thank you very much for watching Jeremy's Yorkshire Allotment Adventures. Oh, I'll see you soon. I'm off to get a cuppa. Oh, speaking of cuppas, we had another question. In fact, we're more of a statement actually about the tea bags. Yes, the jolly old tea bags. Now, over here, I'm moving again, aren't I? Because I have yet another plastic tub, and in here somewhere are some, oh, there it is, there's one, tea bags. I've been told that, and someone's written in and said that these do have possibly, they can't guarantee that they are 100% organic tea bags. There are now companies saying on their boxes 100% organic tea bags can be used in composting. So these may take a long, long time to rot down. They may also contain little bits of plastic. So if you can, break them open, stick them into it. I'll put that in there, no matter where it goes actually, it's tea. Mix it in, and then obviously dispose of your waste in your normal bin at home. So yes, tea bags aren't really organic, but I use mine around the allotment as a tea bag to ward off the cats. They don't like it. And when they get wet again, these tea bags, they swell and they still give the scent off. And well, it seems to work pretty well, but I'll have to have a pot around and see if I can find some and see whether they do rot down. Once again, as I said, thanks for watching. See you next time. Ta-ra for now.